Mic check, 1, 2. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting day. Interesting day. Yeah, we got stuff coming out the woodworks. Let's get it. Make sure I'm live. Turn that off. Definitely don't want no repeat. All right, bet. Let's get it, y'all. What up? What up? Shout out to everybody tuning in to this unraveling mystery. I take it some of you guys probably got the email just like me, talking about, let me just tilt my MPC just a little bit, talking about a new Air plugin, and it's called the Flex Beat, which I think is super interesting because it looks like this is continuing a tradition of, I guess you can say, making parallel versions of the FL plugins, the popular FL plugins like Halftime. We had Half Speed. What was the other one? I guess Flavor Pro, you can say, is kind of like RC20. So it sounds like Flex Beat is probably going to be similar to Gross Beat, but we're going to load it up and we're going to find out. And I'm excited because Gross Beat is one of those things that I never got. I actually never got Gross Beat. I'm not a FL guy, and I always liked what guys did with it. I saw the different alternatives that they had to that plugin as far as different VSTs, but I never really latched on to any of them until Cable Guys sent me Shaper Box 3, and that was really, really dope. And that was just a few months back. So I've been messing with like Halftime before I got Half Speed, but I never really had the whole multi-effects box, right? So this looks to be an MPC or a MPC software. It's not just for MPC. It's a VST. I just downloaded it. We're gonna go ahead and try out the demo. Let me go ahead and pull it up real quick, and I'm gonna get to you guys in the chat. And I appreciate everybody who's tapping in. I just want to make sure people who are watching this later are able to kind of tune in and see early what this thing is about. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. All right, cool. Maybe I'll do the full window. Hold up. Of course, it would give me a hard time. All right, we'll do the framed window for now. And let me just move this over and stretch that out just a little bit. All right, so I made this little cheesy melody. In a 120 BPM because I want to see what this thing does. So let's go ahead and pull it up. I made it with Fabric XL, and then we're going to go ahead and pull up an insert effect. Now I'm just experiencing this with y'all, so I don't know what it does either. I just scanned it into my MPC software, and we're going to go ahead and open it and see what it does. Let's see. Flex Beat. Now, one thing I will tell you, interestingly, it is in VST3 format as well as VST2. So it did load up in the MPC software, as you saw. So it has the VST2 version, but I saw there was a VST3 version that also installed when I ran the installer. So let's click on this thing, bring it up. All right. Try unlicensed, 10-day try. Yeah, let's do that. Activate. Okay. 9 days remaining. All right, cool. All right, it looks pretty cool. Let me see if there's a way I can change the UI and make it bigger. It doesn't look like there's a UI adjustment here, like where you can change the size of the plugin. Let's see. No, nothing there. All right, so this is as big as I can get it for y'all. Pause. Actually, let me go to full window. I'm sorry, I got to do this on the fly, but I just want to make sure that you guys can see it. Let me put myself up here. Yeah, I don't know why my OBS keeps doing this, but it's cool. And then we have, let me just pull up the display. All right, that's my MPC display. And window capture. Okay, I can just capture the plugin. Let me see if it lets me do that. No, it's not gonna let me do that either. All right, let me go to the full MPC main mode. Oh, that's whack. So yeah, I don't have a way to do it on this particular window, so I just got to do it on the frame window. Sorry, y'all. So as you can probably see here, if you're able to zoom in on the screen, it looks like there's a 4x4 grid here that changes the patterns here. So this looks very kind of similar to, again, I'm not that familiar with growth speed, but this looks similar to the shaper box. And it looks like it has different algorithms to kind of change the melody. So if you have a simple melody, we'll play it before and after. Let's go start turning things on. Okay, a little scratch action. It's a scratch 2. And it looks like you can, click and drag these. And it is in a 4x4 grid. It's kind of dope. So yeah, it looks like basically of a kind of like gross beat, but it looks like they shaped it in a way where you've got four pads here, right? 4x4 bank. And then this is also in a 4x4 grid. So this is interesting because this looks like it's primed and ready to be turned into a standalone plugin. So if I'm going to make my predictions, I would say this probably shows up as a standalone plugin when the next MPC drops. If it is that XL, or whenever the next update. So this is kind of, in my opinion, this is interesting. I like what Akai is doing here. I'm talking about the plugin a little bit, but I'm also talking about their marketing and what they're doing. It's kind of cool because they're teasing things in different orders, right? So I guess we kind of got used to seeing, I guess, features of the next software update, and now they're able to tease plugins as like a teaser for what's coming. So I think that's pretty dope. This looks like it's, like I said, it's just right now just in VST format, or I think it was AU audio units or AAX, one or the other, but it's basically just for your computer right now. But it looks like it's gonna be very easy to be controlled with your MPC because it's got the 4x4 pad layout. So this is fire. So I can imagine this being up on your screen as you're playing stuff, and then you can just probably change the settings on the fly, which would be crazy. All right, let's see what other ones they got. It's a little extreme. All right, let's go to library and see what they've got over here. All right, looks like they've got momentary, patterns, flanging, pitch shifter, stutter, turntablist, gates, DJ patterns, DJ gates, DJ scratch. Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. All right. So yeah, it looks like they have different preset categories. So let's try some of these. I'm gonna double click on this momentary and basic one. Yeah, I don't really see anything changing on the banks. Okay, you can drag them. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So you can drag the different effects. All right. So all right, let's try one of these flanging effects. I'm gonna put that on too. I don't really hear a difference there, did y'all? Yeah, I don't really hear any difference on the flanging ones. Let's try the pitch shifter ones. We'll go -12. Okay, that's pretty noticeable. Yeah, the flanging ones, I didn't hear any difference there. And then we'll go. They've got an ARP preset. Okay. Yeah, so for those of you who are not familiar with gross beat or these type of multi-effects type of VSTs and plugins, basically what these do is, a lot of guys are always asking me, yo, Sight, how do I get variation in my beats, right? Like, say you got a loop and you're kind of stuck, like you got a loop and it's going on and on. And I always tell people, like, try filters, right? Because you can always switch to a filter, kind of, low pass it, and then it gives you room to play over the top. But what a plugin like this does is it gives you the ability to really kind of, I guess, create like alternate patterns with the existing melody. So, and then it also has like a wet dry knob, right? So it's not like you have to use it at full power. So if somebody's like, oh, that sounds cheesy, you might be right. But if you use it like this, right, where, let me show you the screen again, where you're like, yeah, that sounds kind of corny, I don't like it, but you can back down this dry wet knob. See, it just adds kind of like a counter melody in the background. So by messing around with that wet dry knob, you're able to keep the original melody and then kind of mess around on top of it. So I think that's super dope. I really like that about half speed, and it seems like this really just takes it to the next level. So from what I saw, it's $39 on sale. I think it was $79 on sale for like $39, which again, I gotta applaud Akai in the way they're rolling these out, right? Because for one, it's like before the next major update, so it gets the excitement up, and then it's also they start with the sale price, right? So you're not getting hit in the head for the full price, which I think had a bad reaction from us with the plugins, with the instrument plugins. It was like, they just bust us in the head with with a crazy price. So I think this is cool because they're rolling it out on sale, which is like, it's a cool tactic. I like it. It's attractive. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's like $40. Let me go ahead and snatch it up. So, and obviously you can do the trial and just test it out. But I think this is something, it has to come to the MPC. To me, it's not even a question, because we've been seeing these kind of plugins like port over, they've been creating them in standalone mode. And I think this is cool because they're teasing it in VST format. They know we're going to want it in standalone. They know we want it in standalone. Like, come on, stop playing. So when they drop the standalone version of it, it's like, more than likely, again, I'm just projecting here, more than likely, it's probably going to be included if you already bought the VST version. So I think being scared of buying it now, me personally, I would not be. I would probably buy it now, especially if I didn't have if I didn't have gross beat, or if I didn't have one of those, one of these types of plugins. It's a cool version of it. It's a simple, easy to use UI. I think it's pretty dope. So if I didn't have any of these like shaper box or anything like that, I would go ahead and get it, me personally. I'm not telling you guys what to do, because I don't know for sure that they'll drop the standalone, but based on the way it looks, I can foresee them dropping a standalone and just including it, because that seems to be what they did in the reverse with the instrument plugins. They dropped it on the units first, and I think you got the VSTs for free, if I remember correctly. If not, you guys let me know in the chat. So let me check the chat, man. I appreciate everybody who's in here. Let me chop it up with y'all real quick, and then we'll kind of try to make a beat out of this thing. Let me know what you guys think. Let me see here. You guys are deep in here. Shout out to 93 already. If y'all can hit the like button on this, that would be huge too, by the way, man. I'm trying to hit you guys with the exclusives. As soon as they come out, let's go ahead and get the information out there. So I saw a lot of questions asking what it was. I tried to go live right on the spot for y'all. All right, comments. Let's see what we got here. Terrell Jones, so you got the new plugin already? Yeah, it's for download. It's right in your you should have got the email, whatever email account you have your Akai account linked to. They sent the email out. So yeah, just check your email, go ahead and download it. Download the like I did in the beginning, download the demo and try it out. Image line are probably punching air right now. Yeah, I think so. Cause I mean, at this point, a lot of the things that people were talking about on you know, FL that MPC didn't have, there's ways you can do it, right? Like there's ways you can get similar effects, but you're talking about using XY effects and stuff like that. I think this is just taking those effects and making it a cooler package. Excuse me. Another thing I've been talking about is like what Akai is doing is all these capabilities are already in the MPC. You can do most of this stuff, but they're making cooler ways to utilize it. Like they're making it interface with the pads. So it's like if you had FL and you just had a really dope way to interface with the plugins, that's really the advantage of the MPC now. Cause it's like you're bringing these plugins over, which are similar, but the advantage is now you're going to be able to change these presets on the pads on the fly and really make unique, you know, melodies and counter melodies super fast. So they know what they're doing, man. This is a super interesting development to me. It's not just like some people might be like, oh yeah, they're just copying. It's different in a sense of they're taking the same types of effects, but they're making it work with a system that's just super easy to use. You know what I'm saying? Your Q links and your 4x4 grid on your pads is like, it really just doesn't get much more fun than using those, in my opinion. Effectrix, yeah, that's the one I was looking at. Shout out to DJ D Live. Appreciate you tuning in, bro. Yeah, Effectrix is one that I was looking at too a long time ago. Finally caught you on the live, my bro. Yeah, man, I appreciate you tapping in, and everybody who's in here. You know, shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all locking in. Sauce Money Beats with the $5 super sticker. Appreciate you, family. Yeah, gross beat is dope. Gross beat is dope, and this seems to be Akai's take on it. And again, it's not in standalone yet, but from what I can see, all signs point to it's coming to the MPC standalone. It's definitely coming to standalone because it's already in a 4x4. There's like too many giveaways, you know what I'm saying? But what's going to be interesting is this comes back to the conversation about the MPC XL. People are like, oh yeah, what's it going to give us? It's just an X with more RAM. I mean, it looks like they're finding ways to bring more value to that unit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's probably going to come with all the instrument plugins, you know, that the keys had. Because again, you got to remember, they're refreshing the flagship. The XL is the top of the line MPC. It needs to blow all the other MPCs out of the water. Of course, it does it with the IO. But now you're talking about if it has all the instruments of the Key 61, and then it also has these cool new plugins that come with it. Now everybody who had the Key 61, who was feeling on top of the world, as they should have, because it's a really dope unit, now they got to pay for some new plugins. Oh man. So I think it's funny to me. It's funny to me the updates, how companies work when they update this stuff. Like, you know, they make stuff exclusive for whoever copped the newest thing. And it's probably annoying to some people, but I think it's dope. You know what I'm saying? I think it's dope. We can upgrade. I don't like paying for plugins more than anybody else. Don't get me twisted there. But I like the fact that they keep innovating, and that even if you have an MPC Live One, like the original one, you can still use all this stuff. That's fire, yo. I mean, the fact that these units keep growing and keep getting better, and you're not left behind by having an older one, I think is really dope. So yeah, so I think that this is probably going to be a value add plugin to the XL. It's probably going to come with the XL. And again, I'm just speculating. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, any more than you guys. I'm just here being a fan of what they're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Got the email. I'm like, okay, let me go and do my my plugin crackhead thing. And I normally don't jump on top of plugins, but I really wanted to see what this one was about. William Butter said, "This is dope. If it comes out on standalone, I'll copy it." Yeah, man. I think it's kind of a no-brainer, you know, because it just takes advantage of effects that we have in the MPC that we have to kind of piece together using different ways, and it puts in like a cool interface. So to me, it's like any way I can manipulate my samples and come up with different patterns, I'm gonna jump on it. Like half speed, worth every dollar. You know what I'm saying? RC, I mean not RC20. I'm sorry. The Flavor Pro, worth every dollar to me. Like every dollar, because especially if you catch it on sale, it's like, come on now, you know what I mean? Because now you're talking about, these are the cheat codes FL cats have been using for years. Like they've been able, you've been listening to like a lot of these producers using FL, and they're just, you know, they're talking about, yeah, I'm making 10 beats a day. And you're like, as an MPC user, you're like, how is that possible? But think about it this way. You come up with just a basic loop, and then all of a sudden, you know, you need a second pattern. And again, this loop is whack, so don't judge me on the loop. I just wanted to throw something simple together. But if you come up with a loop and then you're able to change up the patterns super quick, that really saves you a lot of time. So as a matter of fact, just so y'all don't judge me, let's put a loop in here. Let's put a sample loop in here and see what it does on that. Try it on something different. And I'm sorry to keep bouncing back, back and forth, but I'm trying to communicate with y'all and see what this thing is really hitting for. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete that pattern, and let's load up a sample. All right, cool. I'm gonna keep the plugin on this program, and then let me go to browser, and I'll just load up one of my loops from Standalone Soul, because then I know I won't get a copyright strike. Let's say that much. I'll use the latest one. It's one of my favorites. All right, we'll load that up and let's put plugin program. 1 second. Let's see if I can find a BPM on that real quick. 78. Okay. All right. So let's bring this down to 78, and then I'll just warp it and we'll speed it up a little bit and see if we can come up with a different variation. I'm gonna put it on 8 bars, and we'll see how it works on a loop. You know what I'm saying? On a sample loop. I think it's gonna have a really cool effect, you know, especially if you pick the right preset and kind of adjust it. All right, here we go. Pitch it up a little bit. Now that didn't loop right. All right, let's go ahead and throw the effect on there. Let's see. I think it was attached to the other program. And I'll put it all the way wet. I'm gonna put another instance on there, like a brand new one. We'll start it from the top. me see what that sounds like if we back off the. That's kind of cool. Let me try some of these flanging effects again. Okay, I can hear it now. It's kind of dope. Kind of cool. So yeah, if you're looking for like alternative patterns, right? So like you get tired of your loop and the next one you want to have like a breakdown, you could probably just throw something, you know, you have it looping like that, right? And then your second pattern you want. That'll be a sick breakdown, yo. Like, cause it's playing it backwards, but like in sections. So yeah, this is fire. This is definitely fire. I think it's probably for me gonna end up replacing my cable, not cable guys. Yeah, probably the shaper box because it's so easy to use. Like you just click the different presets. It might not have as many presets, but I'm sure guys will be making more too. So yeah, if this comes a standalone, this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer for me. Let me hear what some of these other ones sound like, the stutter ones. Stutter 2. And it's got a quantize button, which is kind of cool. So if I take the library out, you can adjust it as well. So yeah, I mean, you can really mangle samples or like I said, take the wet dry down and experiment. But it just seems like a fast way to make alternate patterns for your beat. So I think if you're looking for ways to turn a basic loop into a song, something like this will go a long way because you can work with the presets and just experiment with the wet dry and see what fits the loop. You know what I'm saying? And then if you find something inspirational, basically you can just bounce it to sample and you know what I'm saying? Like now you have a secondary sample that you can put in the, in your next sequence. So you just copy sequence and then you just bounce it down, you know what I'm saying, to another sample. And then boom, you got your second loop right there. So it's just it's a shortcut. And this is why like FL guys have been able to crank out so many beats because they had shortcuts like this where it's like, if you can't figure out what to do with your next sequence, you can come up with 3 or 4 different variations, bounce them to a sample, and then boom, now you got, 3, 4 variations in your beat. Take out the drums on one, take out the bass line, maybe switch it to an 808 from a regular bass line, you know what I mean? So a lot of ways to really freak it, but I think something like this is just something that's going to really allow you to take a simple idea and then turn it into more, more variation. Let me get back to the chat and see what you guys are saying. Verse 1 said, saw the email and came right to YouTube. Nah, I figured that, bro, because when I seen somebody ask about it in MPC Gang, I said, yeah, let's go ahead and just go live. Because I know that feeling like you're driving home from work or you're out, out and about or whatever, and you're just like, man, what is going on? You don't want to miss it. It's that FOMO, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and just put something together and explore it together. My dog said, I'm glad you made this live site. I literally just got an email about this. Yeah, man. And Andre Lee said, make it easier for the MPC user. Yeah, bro, because we've been at a disadvantage in some ways. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you have all these cool plugins that come with the systems like FL, I mean, we're definitely working harder when we're using the MPC, which is fine. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with really being hands-on with your beats, but certain things are just like cheat codes that we've been missing out on. And yeah, we can use the software, and this is just for the software right now. But if this does come to standalone, this is going to be, another game changer. I really think at this point, I mean, there's other plugins that you can emulate, right? But the core ones, this kind of addresses the last of the core ones that FL users have been enjoying for the past few years. Again, which is like your RC20s, which is, not just FL users, it's DAW users in general, you know what I'm saying? But, flex beat, which is like your gross beat. And then you got your halftime, half speed. So we kind of have the big three, you know what I'm saying, at this point, especially if this comes to standalone. So huge development for me. Like, I know some of you guys are converted from FL, and this will probably be very welcome for you. Especially if you don't if you've been using your MPC by itself and just missing having that quick multi-effects capability. I think this is going to be huge for you guys. JT said, I already have the latest version of Shaper Box and Gross Beat by default, but this is still interesting, especially if it comes out for standalone. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. If you have an MPC and this drops for standalone, it just gives you that additional capability of being able to switch presets with the pads and stuff like that. And then you see the grid over on the right, you know what I'm saying, over here. That looks like it's going to be maybe controlled by the Q links. So if you're able to change parameters on the fly, I mean, you can get really crazy with this thing, it seems like. So I really like the whole 4x4 grid thing. That's one of my favorite things about this platform. So seeing them integrate that into all the plugins is pretty awesome. Bistro Beat said, I hardly use the software. I need to get into it more, but not near the computer as much. Yeah, and I think, stuff like this, if it comes to standalone, it's just going to give us another reason to not really have to use the computer as much. You know what I'm saying? Because now think about it, we've got full mixing capabilities, in standalone with the limiter. The limiter really saved a lot as far as like gain staging and stuff like that. Making sure we're not clipping coming out of the box if we're in standalone. And then really, honestly, as far as plugins go, I think the only thing we could really use past this would be, and I'm sure needs are different for different people, but I think universally we all want to see a visual EQ plugin. So if a visual EQ plugin comes, where we're able to EQ using, and this is honestly encouraging because you see these dots, right? Like we're able to adjust things with the Q links or whatever. Imagine being able to adjust these as EQ points. You know what I'm saying? Like in a visual EQ plugin, that would be super fire. So I think these are kind of writing on the wall. I don't know for sure, but just based on the trajectory of what Akai has been doing, I think this is a good sign that they're just paying attention to what we're saying, and they're going to keep bringing us tools that other producer communities have been enjoying, making our own versions of them. So I think that's really dope. But yeah, I didn't want to go too far on this stream. I really just wanted to help y'all who couldn't get to your computer to test it out, see what you can do with it. But definitely go to Akai, akaipro.com, download the demo, test it out, put it in your DAW. I think it works with everything because it's got the VSTs and everything. So you can use it in pretty much any DAW. But I'm excited because I just use the MPC software most of the time. Mikolaj says, it needs too much RAM for standalone. I don't know, bro. I don't think so. The reason I'm gonna say I don't think so is because these are things you can really do already with tape stop, with and that's if you're talking about this specifically. I didn't see if you were talking about something else, but if you are talking about this plugin, this is stuff that the MPC can already do. It just doesn't have this type of interface. So you can do this kind of stuff in with the tape stop and all that. You can kind of assign stuff to Q links, but it's not this elegant. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to be a problem with RAM, honestly. Shout out to the big dog, Carlos 6 July Brody with the laughing emoji. We on it, bro. We out, we out here, man. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I know there's a lot of guys commenting different kind of like competitors, gross beat, M rhythmizer. Yep, very, very similar. Darius Evil Twin said, I'm loving Cable Guy Shaper Box 3 at the moment. And again, if FlexBeat does similar thing and it comes to standalone, I'm in. I think that's kind of where most of us are, where it's like, if it comes to standalone, it's going to be a problem. So I'm pretty confident that's coming to standalone. I really can't see it not coming to standalone because just like I said, the way it's shaped, the way they set up the interface, and Akai is just getting really, really good at teasing us. You know what I'm saying? Like at kind of hinting towards stuff to get us excited. And then, you know, when it's time, they drop it. So, I mean, they're really good at this stuff now, man. Shout out to Andy Mack and everybody on the marketing team. You guys are official. They're the real deal, man. They know what we want at this point. They know how to get us going. Shout out to DJ Double Edge Reg. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the super chat. Everybody who's been supporting the channel. I really didn't have a plan to be on a long-term video right now, so I'm gonna jump off in just a minute. But I want to thank you guys who've been showing a lot of love in the latest videos, man. Like I said, if you can hit that like button, this video did anything for you today, helped you in any way, like button, hit that subscribe button with the bell notification so you don't miss any more. As these developments come, I'm going to keep sharing them and going live. And next time I'll cook up a beat, but I got to go pick up my kids. So y'all know how that is. But yeah, man, I'm going to jump off, man. Get in MPC Gang in Facebook if you're not in there already. And let's chop it up, man. Let's have a discussion and you know, see what else we can discover about this. I might have missed something. So I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.